What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got a mailbag for you guys, which is me and you talking about the Minnesota Vikings. Truly my favorite video I do every single week here. You guys have some crazy takes, some crazy questions, and just love chopping it up with you guys. We're gonna start off with a legend here, Corey Miller, coming in saying JJ will be fine, and the run game will facilitate some yardage whilst he's settling in. Thoughts? Totally agree with you, Corey. And I'm sure if Kevin O'Connell read this, he would agree with you as well. You're playing the Bears, the Falcons, and the Bengals. Those three defenses, middle of the pack at best. Bengals, probably the worst in the National Football League. You should be able to run the football. And with the amount of concern I have for this wide receiver room, you could use the run game to kind of help manage that. Obviously, you're expecting TJ Hawkinson to step up, but the best way to do that is, maybe it's just JJ has a game where he only has 15 pass attempts. Will Jefferson be that thrilled about that? Probably not, but if we're winning games at the end of the day, number 18 is not going to care. So I agree with you. It's going to take JJ some time to get settled in. And also, we're going to have a couple of games this year we're saying, what the hell was that from JJ McCarthy? And he has 150 yards, 2 picks. It's going to happen eventually. 22 years old, the youngest starting quarterback in the league. So, yeah, run game, help facilitate just some easy yards. And plus, that would also get him some easier looks because then he can set up the play action game. Guys are more wide open. So, Corey Miller, love that. Vikings fan, what's going on? Do you think we have a good chance to beat the Bengals week 3 without Addison? That's going to be a hell of a game. Obviously, the Bengals defense, not as good as the Vikings, not even close, but also their offense will be humming by that point. And, it's going to be tough for the Vikings DBs to match up with them since, Byron Murphy on Jamar Chase, that's a mismatch for the Bengals, or for the Vikings. And then Isaiah Rodgers on T. Higgins. Again, the advantage goes to the Bengals. And then you're also just dealing with Joe Burrow. A guy who is an elite processor. I could see him carving up Flores' defense. It's really going to come down to, can the front 7 for the Vikings, get home at a high rate. But, they'll have a chance, but that might need to be the game where it's like, hey, JJ, you're young, 3rd game starting. We got to really start pushing the ball down the field. So, they have a good chance. Honestly, I think that's a coin flip game as it stands right now. Lobsters, what's going on? Sorry, I just laughed at your profile pick and name. That's hilarious. How good do you think the Vikings will be if we had prime Adrian Peterson? It would be a very good team. Listen, prime Adrian Peterson, that 2012 season, that Vikings team was terrible. And he carried them to the playoffs, running for over 2,000 yards in that year. In a 16-game season, this guy ran for over 2,000 yards. He was, 9 yards away from Eric Dickerson's record. Could you imagine if you had prime Adrian Peterson, prime Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison with this offensive line? It would be the best. It would probably be the best group of weapons in NFL history in terms of a combination of all right, you got in my opinion, you have top 10 receiver of all time in Jefferson, top 10 running back of all time in AP. Hawk and Addison are obviously studs as well. The very good offensive line. Yeah, the ceiling would be winning the Super Bowl with that. But Lobsters, good question. Appreciate you. Tommy the Viking, do you think the interior D-line is significantly improved? Yeah, it's got to be. You added in Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen. You also have Jalen Redmond a year older. Levi Drake Rodriguez a year older. You drafted Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, who Tyrion, during the first day of joint practices with the New England Patriots, he was actually running with the 1, so that's a positive sign. Maybe Kwesi actually had a couple of good draft picks this year. But, yeah, they specifically got better in terms of their ability to get to the quarterback. Because Hargrave and Allen, they do struggle a little bit, against the run. Maybe struggle is the wrong word, but it's not their strong suit. But they are elite pass rushers. So, the Vikings, and they get teams in the 3rd and long this year, you're not going to have to rely on either, hey, Grenard, you got to go be a superhero, or Flores, you got to scheme open an open blitzer. You will be able to get pressure from the interior, which I think will be huge this upcoming season. Z Cool, my guy. Your prediction to see how much of a true Viking fan you are. When will we bring home the Lombardi? So if I had to call the year, well, it's obviously going to be during the J.J. McCarthy era. Z-Cool. I'm going to say, so this is 2025 season. Probably not winning the Super Bowl this year. Probably not next year. That's 26. 2027, we'll be champs. You'll be a champ, Z-Cool. Everybody watching this video will be a champ. I'll be a champ. J.J. McCarthy will be a champ. Justin Jefferson, Kevin O'Connell. I'm going 2027. That's my prediction. I love that question. Also, I don't know if the Minnesota sports curse will allow the Vikings to ever win a Super Bowl. You know, you're hoping J.J. McCarthy's just aura is able to, snip that curse, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. If you guys could, name a random Vikings player down below in the comments section. I love asking you guys this. Get creative with this one. Try to get random here. Terrence Newman. Shout out to Mike Zimmer's favorite corner. But if you guys could, name a random Vikings player down below. All right, we'll dive into more questions here in a second. But before we do so, let me tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Factor Meals. Now, eat smart at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off and use code VikingsChat50 off for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Now, here covering the Minnesota Vikings at Chat Sports. Live a pretty busy lifestyle, and I don't always got time to make a home-cooked meal every single day, and that's where Factor has completely changed my life. And Factor helps me eat smarter with tasty, chef-prepared meals that are dietitian-approved and delivered right to my door. And now with more than 65 weekly meals made for how I live and what I like to eat, I've got even more ways to fit in a real meal wherever the day takes me. More variety, more meals. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. And also support your wellness goals. Even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good for you fats. I have a Factor meal probably almost every single day. And if you guys give them a chance, you guys might use them every single day as well. So eat smart at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off and use code VikingsChat50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. It's code VikingsChat50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off plus free shipping. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. All right, Connor Viking coming in here. Do you see the Vikings signing another wide receiver? Yeah, I do. Honestly, by the time you guys are seeing this video, it's going out on Friday. Filming this on Wednesday. They might have already signed a wide receiver. I could see it being Brandon Powell, Amari Cooper. Odell Beckham would be unreal for the headlines of it, but yeah, I definitely think they will. Jalen Naylor having drop issues again. I'm just not feeling confident in that room outside of Jefferson, especially with Addison suspended. I think they have to make a move. Now, maybe we're overreacting to, training camp and the preseason, but I don't know. You're just putting a lot of pressure on, Jefferson, Hockenson in the run game to damn near be perfect if you want to put up points in J.J. McCarthy's first start. Because think about this. JJ's first start, you're on the road, division rival, prime time, no Addison. Darisaw's first game back. You're also going against Ben Johnson, who I think Flores will have a field day, but Ben Johnson's also kind of owned Flores in the past. So it's a tough spot right there. And if you just have another receiver next to Jefferson, I'm feeling more confident about that game. So I think they'll end up signing, Brandon Powell or maybe an Amari Cooper. Marcos coming in saying, what is your reaction for J.J. McCarthy to Justin Jefferson touchdown? You're saying when it happens, the first one? I don't know. Like my call on the watch party, does it have to be J.J. the J.J.? Because I think that's too obvious. I think I might have to switch it up. Or do I have to use that? It's like, since that's the first one, do I have to give the JJ call? Maybe I'll try to get more creative, come up with a nickname or something for that connection. I'll probably end up saying JJ the JJ, but Paul Allen's going to say JJ the JJ for a payday. That's a good one. I like that. The 4 J's. I'm just reading the live chat right now. Yeah, I'm going to have to hop in the lab, think of something for the first touchdown call from McCarthy to Jefferson, but we'll see. Beast in Sports coming in saying, do you think Jim Kleinsasser was a good quarterback? Talking about the tight end. 'Cause wasn't Kleinsasser played with Favre? Maybe he meant tight end. Yeah, so this was he was mainly for like the early 2000s for the Vikings. Kleinsasser though, he was ridiculous on Madden. Like those old Maddens, like 2008, 2009. Kleinsasser was a cheat code. Rocket number 40 as well. He was ridiculous. So he was a good tight end. Not sure what you meant by good QB there, but I appreciate your sports. Big O. What would you do if JJ got hurt for the season again? I'm not gonna lie, guys. I had that thought. Like the 24 hours after the first preseason game, I'll still never forget that feeling of just sitting at my desk where it's like, because I think the day before we got word that it's like, oh, JJ hurt his knee. He's going to get an MRI. But everybody was saying it's no big deal. It's just a checkup. And then we got the report where it's like, oh, no, he tore his meniscus. Even then, we're saying, okay, 4 to 6 weeks, we'll be all right. And then right on top of that, it was like, no, he's going to be done for the year. Dude, I had Zeke Cool in the live chat saying I had that nightmare. Like legitimately, what would we do? You guys know what happened, right? Kirko would be back. Kirk Cousins would be back. He would be on the next flight to Minnesota. If that ended up happening. Oh, dude, the panic. I would honestly, it would be tough to root for this team this year if that happened. Sam Howell time. It could be Sam Howell time. Or, let me ask you guys this. Hypothetical world. I got to knock on something. J.J. McCarthy was out for the year. I want the diehard Vikings fans to answer this. Kirk Cousins or Max Brosmer? Who would you rather have be the quarterback? I bet you a lot of you guys will say Brosmer on that. Yeah. The Maxes are flooded in the live chat right now. But Big O, kind of a messed up question, but I appreciate you. Corey, what's going on? Do you think Asamoah just wasn't a good scheme fit, or do you think he just wasn't a good enough player? I think it's a combination of both. Obviously, once you're in Flores' doghouse, you're not getting out of the doghouse. It's very, tough to earn his trust back. I liked him out of Oklahoma. He's a freak athlete. He was a good special teamer, but yeah, I think it was just a combination of not a good scheme fit. He just wasn't good enough, wasn't good in coverage, and plus, like Ivan Pace, Blake Cashman, they all played, great over the last 2 years. So we'll see the revenge game next Friday against the Titans in Tennessee. As Z Cool coming in saying, predict Jets passing yard this season. Will he throw a touchdown? So I put this out on Twitter. I'm sure you saw this, Z Cool. Over under. I'll up it. 2.5 passes for Jefferson this season. I'm gonna take the over. I think Kevin O'Connell. I mean, he's done it. I think at least 2 times every single season. Will he throw a touchdown? My dream is let's get the inverse JJ to JJ. Let me get a Jefferson throwing to McCarthy touchdown pass. That's the only play I want this season. Have it be the Philly special, whatever play it is, but that would be pretty damn elite. Z Cool, give me a yep down below. Brady then coming in saying, cut, trade, keep. Jordan Addison, T. Higgins, and Jalen Waddle. Great question. Probably the 3 best wide receiver 2s in the league. I'm keeping Jordan Addison. Trading T. Higgins, and I'm cutting Jalen Waddle. There's so much bias in that answer, but I think it's, if I had to rank it, I think T. Higgins is number 1, Addison's 2, Jalen Waddle's 3. All right, if you guys made it to the end of today's mailbag, we appreciate you. Just give me a skull down below in the comments section. Shout out to all the real ones for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, Skull Vikes.